León. Oh,
Hola César,
que no conecté el micrófono otra vez. Siempre se me olvida, como no estoy acostumbrado a él. Dame un segundito ya.
dale, dale.
Ahora.
¿Cómo estás, César?
Bien.
Qué bueno, qué bueno. Quería consultarte un tema que es que noto que siempre por debajo de la indagación hay una intención del yo a querer saber, querer descubrir, querer conocer. Entonces es como que la motivación de la autoindagación parece ser el fondo, esa necesidad de descubrir algo. Y entonces como que siempre está presente, sutilmente o inconscientemente, siempre está presente.
Cuestiónalo. Lo que yo surja de esa manera, cuestiónalo.
Ujú.
¿Quién es? ¿De dónde surgió? Y se va. La medicina es una y la misma.
Ok, ya.
Ya lo viste,
Eso era César.
ya detectaste. Y cada vez que surja, ¿de qué es eso que surge o de dónde surge?
Ok,
¿Quién es ese que surge? Tratando de conocer al ser. El que quiere conocer al ser ya es el ser, pero como cree ser otro, aparte del ser, lo quiere conocer. Very strong, the wind, right? Yeah. The heavens feel is so strong. And it's not raining, isn't it? Yeah, careful. Hacen unos ventarrones aquí durísimos. It's raining. Okay. Esta es la época de lluvia aquí,
ajá,
pero generalmente llueve más hacia el norte de la isla. Aquí se siente el viento fuerte, pero no tanta lluvia. Ok, de todas maneras, ¿quién es ese yo, verdad?
sí.
Aparece de forma muy sutil, es muy sutil, se hace más sutil, ¿no? Y hay una alarma que empieza a sonar, ¿sí? Que te dice, ahí está.
Sí, lo que pasa es que no es que aparezca como un yo, sino que aparece como la invitación hacia la autoindagación.
La indagación es acerca del que está pasando la indagación a la indagación. ¿Sí?
Entonces que se vuelve al final como la búsqueda, ¿no? Que es como el seguir buscando todavía, o todavía está ahí presente el que busca.
Se busca es sí, se busca es al que busca. Romano lo dijo muy claro, busca al que busca. Él no dijo busca al ser. ¿Cómo vas a buscar al ser? ¿Acaso hay dos? Uno que busca al otro. Un ser que busca al otro ser. El ser no está perdido ni tiene que buscarse a sí mismo. ¿Sí? ¿Y quién es el que busca? Busca al que busca, ve al que ve, duda del que duda.
Ujú.
Uy, tramposa la mente, ¿no?
Sí.
¿Y a quién está invitando a la indagación? ¿A quién? A sí mismo.
Es que todavía está esa necesidad de buscar, de indagar, de...
Pero es que de nuevo, la indagación es quién es el que indaga.
Ujú.
Es como tratar de buscar al sol a plena luz del día como una antorcha. Aunque lo reconozcas y lo veas, a lo que lo ves, desaparece. Lo que lo reconozcas como no yo. A lo que el ladrón se da cuenta de que lo descubrieron, se va de la casa donde entró.
Ujú.
El intruso en la fiesta, ¿te acuerdas? Que andaba
Sí.
dando a lo que, a lo que el intruso se dio cuenta de que lo tenían capturado, de que lo que tenían observado, ¿sí? Se fue y dejó de molestar, ¿no?
Pero es lo, como que posiciono la observación en esta tendencia de buscar y desaparece un rato y vuelve a insistir como la tendencia de buscar. Entonces, como que todavía hay algo que buscar.
La búsqueda, bien sea para afuera o para adentro, tiene que cesar. Si yo busco al que busca, el que busca desaparece y la búsqueda desaparece y no hay nada que encontrar porque uno es lo que está buscando. ¿Me sigues?
¿Sí?
¿Quién es el que
Pero
busca
vuelve, dale,
y no lo encuentra? El buscador no puede encontrar la conciencia y si buscas al buscador desaparece.
ajá. Pero luego vuelve como a aparecer de nuevo la necesidad de la búsqueda y ahí de nuevo aparece no como un objeto o como un yo, sino que simplemente como ahora una necesidad de búsqueda.
Y pues la necesidad de búsqueda tiene que tener un sujeto que la tenga.
Ajá,
Tiene que aparecer el necesitado de la búsqueda, el que necesita la búsqueda.
ajá,
Se esconde, ¿sí? Fíjate cómo se esconde. No, 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 no hay buscador, solo la necesidad de la búsqueda. Se esconde, ¿sí? Son las etapas donde escuchas los disparos, pero no sabes de dónde vienen, no saben no ves al que los dispara, ¿sí? La mente se esconde
ajá,
bajo tierra y empieza a tirar, ¿sí?
sí.
En Venezuela decimos, tira la piedra y esconde la mano.
Entonces ahí es donde no sé cómo hacer que la búsqueda cese o algo, pero
Es decir,
porque claramente, sí,
busca el que busca.
ajá.
Entonces, ve de dónde surge la urgencia de buscar. De hecho, tú ves la urgencia de buscar, ¿cierto?
Sí,
Ah, entonces ve al que ve y no lo ha visto en este caso la urgencia de buscar. Mantente como el que ve.
ok.
Se va la urgencia y la idea de ser el que ve también se va.
Ujú.
You get updated. ¿Mm?
Ok, gracias, César.
Bien, sí, mientras más se acerca el príncipe al castillo a rescatar a la doncella, las trampas son más sutiles.
Ajá.
A la urgencia o lo que sea. Estoy hablando de eso, la urgencia. Si ahí está, es porque la veo, ¿no? ¿A quién le aparece la urgencia? ¿De dónde surge la urgencia? Es lo mismo, ¿no? ¿A quién? A mí. ¿De dónde? De mí. Eso las maneras resumidas de manera tan simple. Mantente como el meditador y no tendrás necesidad de meditar.
Gracias, César.
Una forma.
Hello, Caesar.
Hello.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said to me that I should bring the attention to the one who is, to the observer, to this awareness. Is that correct?
No, to the awareness, no.
To the one who observes.
Yes, to the observer.
An observer and awareness, it's not the same.
No. The observer is the mind, the individual I, the first person I. Awareness is impersonal, and nobody can see awareness or consciousness or whatever you like to call it. When the mind is clear, awareness is left, knowing itself, but knowing itself by being itself.
So when this attention, you said to bring the attention to the observer. So the attention is also mind.
Yes.
And mind is making, how to say it, mind, an observer is also mind.
Yes.
So mind need to be, how to say that?
Good. Mind is basically body consciousness. If there is body consciousness, there is world consciousness through the senses. In
Yes.
deep sleep, there is no body consciousness because there is no mind. Mind is basically the light that illumines the senses and the world. It is reflected light of the self or consciousness or awareness or whatever you like to call it.
So in deep sleep, there is no me, there is no mind,
Mm.
there is awareness.
Mm.
But when bodies wake up, I appears.
No, the body doesn't wake up.
Who's waking up?
The mind.
Okay.
The body, imagine that a painting says, I am here. The painting doesn't say anything. This body is like a painting, right, on a canvas, on the canvas of consciousness. So the painting doesn't say I, and the canvas doesn't say I. Something in between appears as I. That is the mind. In between the consciousness and the body, the mind appears. And then the mind that appears as body identity, as the thought I am the body, is what gives the impression that consciousness, the I, is the body, that is limited to the body. Another way to put it, when the sunlight gets associated with an object, let's say a post or a tree, the shadow appears, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the mind, the reflected light of consciousness gets associated with the body, the shadow appears. I am the body idea. So when the light touches the slide, the light appears to be the image that it is illuminating, right? But in reality, the sunlight and the sun are not two different things. They are one and the same, right? There is no sunlight separate, independent from the sun. So this light passes through some channels and reaches the brain, right? When it reaches the brain, that light gets associated with an object, with the body. And then through the nervous system, okay, the thought I is spread all over the body. It's like, I am this body, see? Make sense?
Yes.
Good. So attention turns into I am paying attention, see? It appears to be a person that pays attention.
Yes.
This is why it says when the attention is directed inwards, is consciousness. When the attention is directed outwards, it's called mind. See?
So when mind brings the attention to itself,
It
then
disappears.
mind disappears. Okay. Then then there is a question how long it should take for the mind to disappear.
It depends upon two things. Upon the amount of tendencies, okay, or how deeply rooted they are. And the tendencies are nothing but there is an original tendency, which is the tendency to get externalized through the senses and play with objects, to think about them, basically liking them or disliking them, right? Thoughts in the form of prejudices. Not the practical thinking necessary to perform one's duty, but it basically prejudices, likes and dislikes. And these likes and dislikes are based on the imprint of previous experiences.
It's idea, yes.
Yeah, if it is pleasant, we call them good. Therefore, I like it. If it is unpleasant, I call it bad. Therefore, I dislike it. And then I want more of what I like and none of what I don't like. So wanting and not wanting is a form of, not wanting is a form of wanting also. I want this, I don't want that. I like this, I don't like that. So I don't like this is another form of liking. Mine is I and you. The thought I, that is, it comes together with the thought you. When you think about something, the I thinker must be there, right? And the you thought must be there. So the subject and the object appear together, disappear together. The mind is not only I, the mind is I and you, I and this, I and that. See? I that knows itself, but is always knowing the other. See? It's the knowledge of the other.
Separation.
Correct. Duality, separation, differentiation. That is why if the thought I remains alone with the thought you, he, she, it, if the first person remains single, right? Without the company or association with the second person or the third person, the first person cannot stand. And then it subsides in the impersonal consciousness or awareness or self or being or whatever you like to call it. I. So the I thought subsides in the I consciousness.
So can I call that, well, I don't know if I can call that state as a meditation when I put this attention to this observer. And
Meditation, you're meditating on the meditator.
Yes, and then inner smile is coming kind of, and
Yes,
there is no thinking, and
yes.
it's just happening. It's very hard to explain in words.
It is impossible. It's a matter of direct experience. So this is the happiness, the joy of simply being, not knowing, just being.
Yes,
The only knowledge that is there is the knowledge of being.
it's happening with me every day when I'm going to work, and then when I'm at work, I'm just focused at work, and I don't have this, like I need to think at work. But when I'm walking to the work, I make this, let's say, meditation. Well, it's not me. I don't know how it happens. It's again hard to explain.
Okay, you do the inquiry, yes. You bring
Yeah,
to yourself.
I'm sorry.
You remain self-aware.
Yes.
Self-awareness. This
Okay.
self is a reflected self, right? The mind self, not the actual self. Then when this self pays attention to itself, it becomes quiet. There is nothing.
Yes.
There is no thinking, and it begins to subside. And the joy that apparently the individual is experienced because it hasn't, the idea of being the individual still might be there, okay? Apparently the individual is experiencing the joy, which is the reality of the self, right?
Yes.
Which is itself is silence. But the silence is not dead, right? Consciousness, whose natural state is silence, right? It's not dead or empty or a void, it's alive.
Yes. This silence is like in mind, like those thoughts are not bothering me anymore because every like I don't hear. Well, I mean,
See, remember that the thought that disappeared is the thought, when you say thought disappeared, it is thought I, and the thought associated with it. Means the thought I is asking you to Spanish, English, I don't know. Because now there is this translation, but no, I'm speaking to language, so
yes.
let's see. So, the thought about me and the thoughts about the other. The thoughts about the other are based on the thoughts about me.
Yeah. If it's me, there is someone else.
Exactly. So this is the ego-centric movement of the mind, see, because it is centered on I. It's a self-centered mechanism, see. It's centered on I, based on I. Even the thought about you is based on I. So this is the quality of thought process that disappears, not the practical thinking that is necessary for, to perform one's duties.
Yes.
Your job is not an obstacle. Work, right? The only obstacle is the thought I. Meaning by I, the body. See, the thought I means I am the body. That is a thought. So that I is a thought. Being a thought cannot be real, right?
Yes.
Being a thought, it cannot be real.
First time I experienced that when I was 16 years old, and I was so amazed that all the problems came from only the thoughts. This was so, I was shocked by that all the problems came only from the thoughts. But when I was in that, let's say, meditation state,
Thought is a
but
problem.
then if I,
If there is no thought, there are no problems, right?
yes, the identification with those ideas and thoughts, that's the problem. And then I tried to explain it to those who I love, and then I lost it kind of. It's another trap, which you said before. Not a lot of people asking questions here.
Most of these people know me for a long time. They are no longer interested in what I say. They just come to inquire because they find that together inquiry becomes easy, or the mind keeps quiet, spontaneous.
Why?
Mm.
How it happens?
Hmm?
How it happens
What?
together? This inquiry. Why it's getting easy?
Nobody
If
can explain that. Some kind of a power is there and
well, I felt it as well. Yeah.
gets activated by itself. This is what we experience, or what I experienced at least, when I was close to this being called self-realized beings or whatever, right? Wise people. The mind will become quiet just by being in their presence. And this is if the mind is pure enough, that has no desires or very little desires. Right? When we come close to these people, the mind just stops, keeps quiet. Everything disappears. The whole load is gone. Otherwise, it's easy to make the mind to become quiescent by the means of inquiry. This is why it's always recommended good company. Good company is company with these people that know that the ego doesn't exist. The egoless beings, if we can call them somehow. Or the mind keeps, or it is easy to keep the mind quiet, or the mind keeps quiet, or the mind simply disappears. And some people realize the self just with a glance, just having a glance of the sage. That's very rare, but it is possible. Those people don't need any verbal instruction. See, the silence, the alive silence emanating from the self, from the guru. The alive silence emanating from the guru or the wise. That's enough. Because the silence is loud. It's alive.
And then identification happens again.
In most of the cases, yes. Very rare that the ego disappears once for all. Never coming back again. It's very rare. In most cases, it comes back, it bounces back. There is an ego relapse.
So you can make this inquiry for the rest of your life, like body life.
Don't think like that, because now you are projecting the end of the ego in a far future, or perhaps not even in this life, right? Nobody knows. So we are left only with the choice to inquire, and that's it.
No, I don't think so. I'm just asking.
Nobody knows. In my case, disappeared and came back.
When I was younger, I stopped the inquiry because there was like a feeling that I disappear, and I was scared about it. Like mind came, and I felt this fear, and it was. I didn't want to make this inquiry because it was this like panic that I disappear.
But you cannot disappear because you believe to be the ego that disappears.
Yes.
When the ego disappears, another I remains, right? Not another one, the only one. The other one is just a reflection. It's not there. The only one that is there is the I consciousness, the self, whatever. The I disappears in deep sleep. You are not afraid of going to sleep.
I was not anymore.
The ego disappears in deep sleep. Means the ego dies. And nobody goes afraid to bed. See, the bed is like a coffin. And everybody makes sure that it is nice and cozy so they can rest in peace, right? At least for a while.
So when there is awareness that I am sleeping, like I aware that I am sleeping and I have the dream. So it's a mind aware that he is sleeping?
No, the mind is not aware that it's sleeping. The mind is gone. If it is gone, how can it know that it is even gone?
No, in a dream, I mean, not in a deep sleep, but in a
No,
dream.
the mind is dreaming.
And
The mind is
when I'm dreaming,
the mind is the dreamer and the dream.
okay.
In deep sleep, there is no dreamer, therefore there is no dream.
So if there is a dream and there is awareness that I'm dreaming, I see that I'm in dream and I realize that my body is sleeping right now. This is mind aware that he is dreaming? Or how is that? If you understood the question.
Yeah, if you're aware that you are dreaming, right, then you cannot be neither the dreamer nor the dream. Because in the dream, you believe that you are the dream person in a dream world, right? Therefore, you believe that the dream is real, as it is they believe that the awakened state is real, and that we are the body in the awakened state or the dream state. But if you know that there is a dream within the dream, right, then you see the dreamer and the dream. So you are what sees, or awareness, or consciousness. Right? It can happen. It happens when the inquiry is intense in the awakening state. So it goes on.
Yeah, it's happening with me when I have this state.
Okay, gotta go now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, see you tomorrow. Nos vemos mañana.
Maybe, yeah. It's 5 in the morning right now, and I need to go to work. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.